Welcome to another episode of our little series with Ruben Mirzoian. He's the principal clarinetist from Theater Ulm in Germany. We're speaking about the world of German clarinet, and today we will speak a little bit more about material and which material to use, which clarinet brands there are, which mouthpieces, which reeds, a topic that interests all of us. So yeah, I will give the word now straight to Ruben. In case you don't know him, he will say 2-3 sentences about himself.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Fabian, for having me on, by the way. So yeah, we've all gathered here today in our presence with the Lord and Savior to announce the launch of the course that I created specifically for and exclusively for clarinetmasterclass.com. So the course, you want to talk about myself, right? The course, we'll touch on that in a bit. I am what they call a professional clarinetist, whatever that means. For the last 15 years, I've been playing the instrument, and 7 out of those were on the French system, and 8 now with the German. And I haven't played the French for a long time, but I was pretty versed in that before I did the transition. And I did it when I moved to Germany to study here professionally, my bachelor's and my master's. And 3 years ago, I was lucky enough to get my position as a co-principal in Theater Ulm. So now I'm using this in a professional orchestra setting and context, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if we speak about brands today, about not brands, material, but if we speak about material, we should also speak about clarinet brands. So like for French system clarinets, there's not too many famous brands. Like most people play either a Buffet, Compon, a Selmer, or like a Bakun, or maybe Yamaha. Like that's like the 4 big ones, more or less. But for German, there are quite more different producers, right?
Definitely. But first of all, before we go into that, what do you play?
So no, I'm an exception. So
Okay.
I play a Wurlitzer. So this is a Wurlitzer Reformböhm. So it's like with a German bore inside.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's
So
okay.
ignore me,
That's
and it has nothing to do also with German system. It's like French keys, you know. But yeah,
yeah.
it's like a Wurlitzer clarinet here.
That's nuts, man. I've never heard of a French system Wurlitzer before. Okay. That's
Yeah, it's
cool.
like the Reformböhms. It belonged actually to Hans Rudolf Stalder. I don't know if you know the guy. So Hans
Sure.
Rudolf Stalder was the most famous clarinetist in Switzerland at the time of Karl Leister as well. So
Okay.
like for Switzerland, it was Hans Rudolf Stalder. And for Germany, it was like Karl Leister. And when he died, I got the chance to get these clarinets. And yeah, they're really awesome. Like I love them.
Nuts. How long do you have them for now?
Since beginning of bachelor, so maybe like 9 years, 10 years.
Okay. Interesting. That's so cool. I didn't know that. Okay. Because when I looked at the clarinet or on your clarinet, I was like, okay, it's probably a Buffet or something. But the way you sound, man, now it explains a lot.
It has a hole.
I
That's
see.
quite funny.
Yeah.
Like everyone always sees this hole and asks what this hole is about. And we already covered in yesterday's episodes about the fingerings. Yeah, so the German system usually has here another key. So I don't have a key, I just have a hole, but it should do the same thing. It should open up the low register a little bit.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Well, about the German companies that create clarinet, I have it written in front of me. So there's many different companies that you can go to and different firms. I think the most famous one is Wurlitzer. So it will be your company. Funny enough that you play on the French system, but it's a Wurlitzer, and it's already a generational type of a business. I think they've been in I think they've been doing clarinets for the last, let's say, 80 years, maybe 100 years. I don't even know, but that will be the most famous and the most important one, let's say. Afterwards, I mean, my personal favorite from all of the clarinet companies that I've ever tried is Schwenk and Segelke. So I play Segelke clarinets. They're based in Bamberg in Germany. And that guy is a genius. The things that he creates, like the way he creates the instruments, the keys and all of the specific details and how he, thinks about the sound and the things that he knows, not from just the clarinet making standpoint, but from the physics and acoustics and like all of this. His knowledge is just endless. So that guy is always fun to talk to. And if you're in Germany, if you have any chance to go to Bamberg to visit his factory where he's working, it's like a Disneyland for clarinetists. Like you just enter and there's, you know, every possible thing you can imagine, every possible machine to create whatever, like a tone hole here, and then keys and whatever, like pads, all of it. So it's a work of art what they're doing. So I'm very much in love with. I'm a proud user of Schwenk and Gelke instruments from Bamberg. But we also have Dietz Konthaler instruments. Konthaler are also becoming very popular to a point that I think the waiting time, if you order one now, is like 8 years.
Is
So
Konthaler the thing that like Andreas Ottensamer plays, for example?
I'm not sure. I don't think he does,
Okay.
to be honest, because I think they live in this other weird world of Austrian instruments, and I'm not sure about
They have
the companies.
Austrian clarinets, right?
Yeah, so there's like this
The
another
world
world
of
that I'm not really.
Austrian clarinet.
Yeah. I'm not really familiar with all of that stuff. I recently learned about Radovanovic clarinets. I think that they're called. Have you heard of this?
No.
No, yeah, same. So it's also like this guy that produces clarinets somewhere in Vienna, I think, or somewhere, and it's just I couldn't properly make a sound out of that when I tried it for the first time. So that was quite funny. But yeah, I think it's a different type of a world. My professor, for example, plays Konthaler clarinets, and there's a few of my colleagues here in the theater. They also have Konthaler for the last, let's say, 15 years. So that's one of the companies that gets more and more popular recently. But as I said, the waiting time is nuts. So if you order one now in 2025, your clarinet will arrive in 2033, if not later.
It's like the Heckel for clarinet.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're mentioning
Heckel
the
is like the bassoon company. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there is even longer, right? Like 13, 15 years or something. It's
it must be.
insane.
Yeah.
Like you buy an instrument for a kid that hasn't been born yet, and then when he's a teenager, then you can give him the instrument. Insane. But yeah, so Wurlitzer, Konthaler, Dietz, Leitner und Krauss. When I was studying, I played Leitner und Krauss bass clarinet in our school. And that's also a company that they're pretty generous with letting you try out some material if you go to them. Karl Hammerschmidt, Harald Jung. That's like pretty interesting guy in Düsseldorf. And I know someone who is now a professional clarinetist with a position in Munich in an orchestra playing his clarinets. And I think that's one of the rare examples of those clarinets being used in a professional orchestra setting. Yeah, like there's just more and more, like Übel, Schreiber, Oskar Adler. Like there's so many, and some of the companies already went out of business. Most of the ones that I mentioned already, like sons or grandsons, took over. It's like generational type of businesses. So I think the most important thing that I also talk about in the course is that as soon as you want to switch, just try to get access to like all of the instruments that you can find, just to try out like what fits for you. Because for example, for me, I have nothing against Wurlitzer instruments, but it just wasn't for me. It just didn't really work in the end. Also, they have this Euler mechanic where here it's not a hole, but it's like a key. And for me, that was always kind of awkward. It's just uncomfortable in comparison to this that looks more like a French system clarinet. So try out as much as you can from your colleagues or like if you're studying, for example. I was very privileged to have colleagues that just would study on different instruments. So I would just try out their stuff.
So you mentioned the course on Clarinet Masterclass. So what is it about? So I've already had a peek into it, and Ruben solves all of the material questions as well in detail in this course, The World of German System Clarinet. It's a one-of-a-kind course in the world, so there's no other online course where everyone in the world can get access to all of the knowledge required to dive into German system clarinet. Basically, you could buy yourself a cheap German system clarinet on Thomann or on any online store or whatever and get it in 1 week. And with the course, you will be able to get the fingerings, get the right equipment with the right reeds, the right mouthpiece, all information, how to use the air. It's basically an all-rounder solution to dive straight into it. And usually we don't have this kind of information. So
Right.
usually our clarinet teachers know nothing about the German system clarinet, about which material to use, about which clarinet brands there are, about which fingerings go where. And also there's no information we can find anywhere online. Okay, so this is the only place where you will find a complete over 1 hour and 30-minute course with 11 full modules about everything the world of German system clarinet has to offer. And Ruben recorded this for us. He told me yesterday in the masterclass on clarinetmasterclass.com that it took him more than 100 hours to stitch all of these things together. Okay, so it's really amazing stuff. We will get to watch. And you will get access to this course by going to the link down in the description. And it's also pinned in the first comment, so you can't miss it. And very important, now during these 4 days, the launch of the course, okay, because it's a new course, we have a special offer. And you can get the monthly membership for 30% off for the first 3 months and the yearly membership for 30% off for the entire first year. Most people usually go for the year because it's the best bang for the buck, but you make your personal choice. You will get access to everything on Clarinet Masterclass. You will get access to all courses, including this one that we're launching right now, the World of German System Clarinet. You're going to get how to win auditions. You're going to get my entire clarinet technique content vault. You're going to get welcome lessons. You're going to get a specific plan on what you should do next in order to go from good to great, to get rid of all of your clarinet technique problems. You're going to get a monthly masterclass with famous clarinetists, like, for example, Ruben, and other people that we had on was Joel Cardozo, Celine Girol, Matteo Mastromarino, Angel Martin Mora. The list goes on, and you will get access to all of these amazing people. At the same time, you will get access to one live workshop together with me per month, where we dive into one specific clarinet technique topic in detail, so that we can go climb the ladder and just progress over time. Amazing. So don't forget to go to the link down in the description. Coupon code is German. So German, German written. You can't misspell it, okay? Otherwise, the coupon code will not work. Enter it at checkout and go sign up right now. Okay, we'll continue now with Mouthpieces. Let's go.
Sure. So one of the things that was very interesting for me to find out is that not every mouthpiece is the same. Not in the sense that you get different mouthpieces, but like there's German mouthpieces, there's Austrian mouthpieces, there's French mouthpieces. And one of the things that happened is that, really made the gap of the difference between German and French smaller, is when French mouthpieces got introduced to German clarinets. So I don't know, have you ever tried to play this game where you listen to a recording and you try to guess which system is being played?
I never did the game, but I can imagine that it might be not recognizable nowadays.
It's getting more and more tough, I would say. Yeah. So sometimes when you just listen to the sound. Also, when I was a bit younger and I was going to auditions where the system doesn't matter. Now when I'm on auditions, it's mostly just primarily German system, because that's the only system that's allowed in professional German orchestras. But when I was going to some auditions like Gustav Mahler, like Young Orchestra, or whatever, like all of this stuff, Schleswig-Holstein, the system doesn't matter. So when you're just in a warm-up room and you listen to other people, and I'm trying to guess, and I was wrong, like let's say 60-70% of the time, because the difference became narrower and narrower, like it's smaller. I think French system took something from the German. I mean, not to go further than you, like as an example, I think you sound very dark and German-ish from your sound. And that's what French took from the German. And German, what they took from the French is this freedom of expressing, like of this flexibility, I think, in the sound. So that's definitely, that's what changed in the last, let's say, couple of decades, pretty drastically. And whenever I hear some colleagues that still play German mouthpieces with German clarinets, the difference is more distinct. Like you can still hear. Of course, it evolves and it's like it sounds way more beautiful than like many decades ago. I have specific video that the one that you I think also watched from the course, where I compare how much we have evolved as a clarinet system, like just from the way it sounds. But yeah, so for example, I use Licostini mouthpieces, Alessandro Licostini from Italy. You too,
Also
right?
me. So yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I guess probably like the best mouthpieces out there, to be honest. At least for me. Everyone is different. Different material works for different people. So it's all about picking and choosing and trying out and all of this. But this is mouthpiece. It's a universal one for French and German. It's called A1 model. And Alessandro Ricostini also has different other models, mostly for French system clarinet players, but also some, for example, FDC model. It also works on German system. And it's quite interesting, the sound that it produces. It's very brilliant and very, like, I would call it a silver sound, let's say, if that makes sense. It's just kind of, yeah, bright and pretty open. And also the higher register is just like you just give this small air and it's out there. So it's a very interesting feeling that it gives. But also other mouthpieces that you can try out are still from the companies that make the clarinets. Like if you combine Wurlitzer mouthpieces with Zigelke clarinets, or Zigelke mouthpieces with some other clarinets, like there's all of these different combinations that you can try out. There is also, I think I have written it somewhere here. Maybe I don't. Yeah, but the most important thing I think is just to write to companies that would give you the the mouthpieces to try. Like for example, in Austria there's Play Nick mouthpieces. Maybe you've heard of them, and they have very interesting models. And some of those models, by the way, people use in professional orchestra setting with plastic reeds now.
Yeah.
So some of the mouthpieces are specifically designed for plastic reeds. So that's also a world and a universe of its own. And you can also try that out and decide if that's a direction that you want to take. But yeah, so I'm a pro user of normal cane reeds, and I'm guessing you are too. But yeah, there's a lot of different combinations.
So the reeds you are playing on this basically Austrian chamber mouthpiece, the A1, are still French reeds, regular French reeds, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you use a French mouthpiece or a universal mouthpiece like I have here, then normal French reeds will work. By the way, German reeds are a bit narrower. If you look at them, they're a bit like taller and narrower, and more kind of pointy, let's say, on the top. So yeah, that's here basic normal French reeds. I'm using Daddario, but for a long time I was playing Zigelke reeds from the producer of my clarinets, or Van Doren V12 or V21. Like I think one of the most popular reed models.
By the way, you mentioned the Dario now. So if you join Clarinet Masterclass now during this promotion with the coupon code German, you will also get access to a practice challenge. It's going to happen in the new year, in February probably, where you can win $1,000 in the Dario reeds. So 30 boxes of reeds for the winner of this challenge. So if you would like to get access to this challenge, also join right now. Yeah. So the Dario reeds, you said, they're amazing.
Yes,
I
they're
was
very
very
thick.
surprised.
Have you seen how thick they are on the bottom? Like the material that goes on the table of the mouthpiece. It's just so much stronger, and it feels like it gives more stability and it holds for a longer time.
I feel it's like a more. I feel like you can push more air, like at least with the classic, like the Dario Classic. I feel like it's a less embouchure type of stability that you need to give, but more like it lets you push the air, which is like awesome. Sometimes with Van Doren, I feel they close a little bit more. And like the Dario reeds, especially if they're fresh, I feel like they don't close at all. Like that you can just give the air that you have.
I see. Yeah, I switch between classic and evolution. So I just buy 2 boxes of each, mostly now 3.5 strength. I was playing 3s before, but they're not like, I need something in the middle. I need harder 3s and easier 3.5s. So like 3 25 would be perfect, but it doesn't exist. But I just switch between both of those models, and it works perfectly fine. And also before, when I was playing Pandon V12 and V21, of course, a bit different feeling, but both works very well on the French mouthpiece with the German clarinet. So that's what a lot of my colleagues also used when I was studying.
That's awesome. So you mentioned that this, basically Licosini mouthpiece is kind of a French mouthpiece. Will any French mouthpiece work on your clarinet now, for example, or?
No, not necessarily. I mean, I also have to customize my A1 always specifically because it's 1 millimeter, like exactly 1 millimeter shorter for a German barrel. So of course you can still it's still going to work, and you can put it on your barrel, but the intonation can be like a tiny bit wonky. And also with a lot of other French mouthpieces, you will notice that some, like, for example, your throat notes are kind of weird and misplaced, and you cannot properly find them, or higher register will be way too sharp and the low will be way too low. So you have to find French mouthpieces that are actually designed that would work with your bore. Also, my clarinet is what they call a wide bore. There's a narrow and a wide, and I was playing narrow for a long time. And then when I switched to the wide, I noticed that other mouthpieces that I had, not the Costini, but the other ones, they just don't work anymore. Like somehow the intonation is weird, and it doesn't, the tones don't sit where they used to be. So you have to also kind of you have to also just try it all out, and maybe ask the people that are doing the mouthpieces. For example, Johannes Gleichweit in Austria. He's an amazing guy in his little garage, just sitting there and just making mouthpieces day and night. I was there at his place, and it was pretty fascinating to see him. You asked for this minor adjustment, and he just goes in and into the mouthpiece. It looks pretty jarring, but then he just gives you that, and it works. And he's pretty versed when you ask him, I have this specific clarinet with this, bore of this wideness and whatever, and he will just specifically give you the model that works quite well. So not every mouthpiece will match, to answer your question.
Okay. And now, let's say someone joins the course with coupon code German. Let's say they want to start playing the German system next week when their entry-level German clarinet arrives. So which mouthpiece should they get? Because probably the Licosini will not be, let's say from the USA, someone wants to start with German system clarinet. From Thomann, the clarinet will arrive. But you can't get really a Licosini mouthpiece to USA.
Fair.
So which mouthpiece should someone from the US, for example, start with?
Sure. Is there Thomann exists in the US, right?
Yeah, so Thomann ships to the US.
Okay.
And I think Gleichweit also is on Thomann, if I'm not sure.
Should be. Yeah. So that's the first place I would go to, I think. Mostly when you order an entry-level German clarinet, I think it has a pretty universal board. It's not too wide, it's not too narrow. I'm not specifically sure about the measurement, but what I've heard when some of my students would buy instruments, even Yamaha German system clarinets, that's also a thing. Sometimes they would just buy a mouthpiece that matches with the instrument, so another mouthpiece from Yamaha, and it's a pretty universal combo. And I mean, on that instrument, you can practice for until pre-intermediate level. Definitely not advanced or pro, but on that you can make a very, very good path, let's say, on your German instrument. And I would just go with a mouthpiece that matches with the clarinet, that it just comes with the clarinet in the beginning. And then you can try out something more advanced. And if you write to those companies like Leitner und Krauss or Wurlitzer, and you mention that you have this model of the clarinet, then they will match, and they will just ship you the right mouthpieces to try out.
But then they will need German cut reeds.
For German mouthpieces, you mean?
Yeah, for the one that comes with the clarinet.
It depends. I've also seen that you could buy a German clarinet, but with a French or more French mouthpiece, that the reeds would just also work on that. So I don't think that should be very problematic. I think German reeds is a very specific type of a thing that just, it works with specific German mouthpieces. Most of the mouthpieces now became more universalized, let's say.
Okay.
So most of the French reeds will just work on those mouthpieces.
So basically, if you join the membership on Clarinet Masterclass, you will also see a little section with material recommendations. So you will see the entry-level clarinet that Ruben recommends from Thomann that ships almost everywhere into the world. You will get this. You will get the intermediate level clarinet that costs a little bit more recommendation from Thomann as well. And also, if you would like to go directly for the professional one, his recommendation, it might be the Gelke, but of course the Gelke, you can't get it overnight. But he already mentioned that he plays the Gelke, so I'm sure he would recommend the same. So basically, you will get also the recommendations of which material to use and the exact links to get to the material so that you could start in a week from now with all the correct information in regards to how to play the German system clarinet and also which German system clarinet to get. So yeah, one more time, you will get access to not only to this course, but to the full program, to masterclasses every month with famous clarinetists, live workshops, practice challenges to hold you accountable to practice the right things at the right time, in the right way. You get access to a community and to great online events where we hang out together and just try to make this progress from good to great all together in a short amount of time. And if you would like to get access right now, instant access, go sign up right now and use the coupon code German to get 30% off. It goes away after this course launch. Amazing.